Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the first of these weekly daily devotional gatherings. As Julian has said, I'm Mike. This is my first time in this hot seat, and it is a hot seat this morning, I can tell you. It's my first time, but it might be my swan song, depending on how things go. And as my brother-in-law's church in Washington, D.C. always start their services by saying, wherever you are and whoever you are, you're always welcome. So today we're considering Psalm 122. It's quite a short psalm, so I'm going to read it end to end quite quickly so that I don't take up too much time. And it says this: I was glad when they said to me, let's go to the house of the Lord. And now here we are, standing inside your gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a well-built city. Its seamless walls cannot be breached. All the tribes of Israel, the Lord's people, make their pilgrimage here. They come to give thanks to the name of the Lord, as the Lord requires of Israel. Here stand the thrones where judgment is given, the thrones of the dynasty of David. Pray for peace in Jerusalem. May all who love this city prosper. O Jerusalem, may there be peace within your walls and prosperity in your palaces. For the sake of my family and friends, I will say, may you have peace. For the sake of the house of the Lord our God, I will seek what is best for you, O Jerusalem. So here we are, a psalm about meeting together and the joys of meeting together. The expectation of meeting other like-minded people with a common purpose and goal in a familiar and secure place. So it's really good to meet together, isn't it? And I guess our own Jerusalem is Red Hill, with its palaces, etc. But the only thing is, you may have noticed that we're not actually meeting together. So is this psalm appropriate for this current situation that we now find ourselves in? Well, maybe it isn't, because as we've already mentioned, we can't meet together in our own Jerusalem. But just maybe it is appropriate. I mean, it doesn't look as if Jerusalem was in lockdown at the time this was written, or there wasn't any socially distancing, or there's no mention of masks either. So we'll assume that they didn't have COVID-19 in those days. So what are we to make of this? Well, in an ideal world, we would, of course, be together in our own Jerusalem, in the centre of Red Hill, but we're not. But let's just have another little look at the scriptures. And for those who are getting withdrawal symptoms about Corinthians, let's refer to this for a moment. And 1 Corinthians 13 says, now we see things imperfectly, like puzzling reflections in a mirror. But then we will see everything with perfect clarity. All that I know now is partial and incomplete. But then I will know everything completely, just as God now knows me completely. These things will last forever, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. Now, the thing I want to highlight here is the imperfectly bit, the puzzling reflection in a mirror. And it can feel like that sometimes. You know, we're looking at each other through a mirror this morning. And I guess it's a case of, what does it feel like coping with the virtual world that we now see and we're meeting in? And we're meeting each other this morning through this glass screen. And it affects people in different ways. I mean, some of us are good at meeting together and having relationship. You know, you need to look no further than Mr. Personality himself. I'm of course referring to Alistair Semple, who is very good at meeting people. And I guess he's missing the interaction, the live interaction, if you like, with other people. And there are other people who are not so good at meeting together, and I put myself in that category. When we had the Church Weekend Away video yesterday, most of the people were saying it was a wonderful opportunity to meet new people. Well, I'm afraid that isn't me, unfortunately. I'm not good at meeting new people. I'm very good at sticking with the people that I know, and I'm not very good at social interaction. Now, that may be a surprise for some of you, but most of you on here I know already, so I've got used to. So I'm good in the safe zones. Men at the Pub is excellent because I know everyone who's on there, so I can have a good, relaxing chat. But I'm not so good on a Sunday morning coffee afterwards because you're not quite sure who you're going to get, and I don't feel as confident in those situations. But one thing I do know is that I need to make an effort for my own well-being. It's not good for me to be isolated. So I'll put it out there, and you're my witnesses, that I will come to the church weekend. I will, how shall we say, in faith, talk to people I don't know. But the lockdown has helped me in other ways. I think it was the guy, who's it, Toby yesterday, who spoke? He said that it had helped him to rest and reflect. Now, lockdown for me has forced me to do things in the house that I've been putting off for some time. And that means clearing my wife's things. Pam, my wife, you probably know, is in a care home now. I've sorted out her things finally. I've left them for 2 years, but finally I got down to it. So it's been good for me for that reason. So how do we coming back to our virtual situation, how do we make the best use of this? And let's thank God that we've got the technology, because 10 years ago or 20 years ago, none of this would have been possible, really. So what I'd like to do is, as we draw towards our prayer time, how am I doing for time, by the way? Oh, not too bad. As we draw towards our prayer time, I want to consider another verse from Hebrews 10. And it says this: "Let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm, for God can be trusted to keep his promise. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his returning is drawing near. And let us not neglect our meeting together." Well, the inference there is that people were neglecting to meet together. They weren't making the effort. And the encouragement here is to do it. Do meet together and do encourage one another. I mean, another thing I picked up from Toby's talk yesterday was about water. It was all about water. Now, I like open water swimming and swimming in the sea, but I hate getting in. Now, I suppose going to a church weekend away is a bit like that for me. It's the getting in. It's the shock of getting in. But once I'm in, I know it's great. I love it. So I love swimming in the sea. I've really missed it this summer. I used to take myself down to Brighton every week almost, just to go for a swim in the sea. So how do we consider, as we pray, let's consider our response and how can we embrace this current situation, because we need to embrace it. And let's be honest with each other about how we're feeling about this. I mean, are we struggling with this electronic veil that we now find ourselves in? I mean, another thing I picked up yesterday with Steve String. He said, gather as much as you can, gather online, and how good it is to be with one another, even at 7:30 in the morning. Well, he's 15 minutes late, okay, because it's 7:15, but we'll forgive him for that. So if you're watching this on catch up, can I encourage you to join it live, okay? Because you're missing something. It's good to be on catch up if you can't come here at all, but try and come live if you can to make the best of what we have. Because this is our own little Jerusalem. This is a focal point, a safe place, and a place we can gather. So let me end where we started, Psalm 122. I was glad when they said to me, 'Let us go to the house of the Lord,' and now here we are."